Hi, and welcome back to the Christelle Project. My name is Christelle, and today we're going to talk about habits: good habits, bad habits, destroying habits, extraordinary habits, habits. I don't know if this video is going to be posted before or after my interview with my sister, but we have touched on habits, okay? And it's something that she told me something. She gave me a quote. Well, no, she just gave me a good advice when I asked her. Um, I asked her this question: when you move out, what is something that you would tell someone when you move out of your home, or a country, whatever? What is something that you want someone to know in order for them to be prepared, or to know how to prepare themselves in order to leave? And she told me that whatever habits you have now, if you don't change them, you will have them there. And it made me think about, again, the children of Israel. When they were in the desert, they had a habit, and when they were in the promised land, they had that same habit for a minute. Um, the reason for that is that a lot of time we think that because we enter a promise, because we are finally where we're supposed to be, or we finally got that job, we finally got that person, we finally got the car, we finally got all of these things, that we're just going to instantly change. But that's not the case. God wants to work on your character, and he does it by exposing your habits and how he wants them to change it. And so when she told me that, what she pretty much did is just gave me a mirror and just placed it right in front of me. So I was forced to reflect on my habits, the good one, the bad ones, every single thing. And so it was something that was battling in me, because I was forced to see that I wasn't ready for the next step that God had for me. I was just not ready. Sometimes pride will make you think that you're ready for everything just because you compare yourself to someone else, or to something else, or to previous seasons. Like maybe you compare your own self to another season. You're like, oh, I'm definitely ready because 2 years ago I wasn't like this, and now I'm like this, so I'm definitely ready to face this, and this. And so, um, I'm I love this subject because habits, they they shape you, they form you, they do every single thing. The reason why we look up to people that are number one in their field, that have accomplished so many greater things, is because they have habits that we do not have. They have understood the principles of having a good habit and about sacrifices. You will never become what you're supposed to be without a change of habits and an enormous amount of sacrifices. And those sacrifices is dying to self. It's surrendering whatever you want now for a greater purpose later. It's pretty much waiting. It's pretty much like laying something down. It's like saving. You save some money up so you don't use certain amount of money so that you can enjoy something greater later. And so when you have good habits, it's good. That's what I'm trying to say. But when you have bad habits, what I personally feel is that well, not feel, I know that you have to trace it back. Why is this habit bad? And where is this coming from? If you have a bad habit of binge eating, binge watching, binge this and binge that, you have to know that it's attached to something. I'm not saying that it's only attached to a trauma, but it mostly can also be, wow, it mostly can and mostly is attached to a trauma, or to a traumatic event that happened, that occurred in your life. And so me, I know that I have had some bad habits that I don't have anymore, right? I used to, for example, suck my thumb when I was younger, or I don't know, I used to drink a lot. That is a bad habit that I used to have, that I don't anymore. I'm not saying that the temptation to go back to those bad habits is not there, but when you have built a self control in in you, then you will less likely go back to it. But you have to understand why you should have self-control. You have to understand why that habit is bad. You have to understand the effect that that habit has on you, and not only physically, because I'm not only talking about the habit of bad eating and bad drinking. I'm also talking about the habits that are mentally, that are spiritually, that are emotionally, because you have to know that in life, wherever you are, there's definitely always someone that looks up to you, in good and in bad, whether it is to want to be like you, or whether it is to stumble you. You have to know the roots. For me, well, as I'm still navigating my and going through a lot of healing, a lot less. Let me give myself some credit. A lot less. I have seen that the only reason why certain times my healing wasn't really like, it wasn't advancing how it was supposed to, it's because I wasn't willing to stay in the roots of the healing, to stay in the roots of the hurting, sorry, and to stay in the root of the trauma, to like really like dig everything out. You know, it's like when you're washing, you know, your dishes, sometimes you have to dig out. When you're cooking a certain meal, you know, you have to dig in to really bring all the dirt out. And so if you don't do that, it will stay dirty, but it will still be partially clean. You see? And so, yeah, I want to encourage someone to start digging. Why do those habits, why are these habits bad? And why do I keep on having them? You know, sometimes you'd be surprised that you have still a certain bad habit because of your environment, whether it is the environment you live in or the environment, meaning the company that you keep around you. Sometimes you can be influenced by who is around you because of certain standards that has been set within the group of people that you have, or within, you know, you and that person, you and those people. And so once you separate yourself, once you ask yourself, once you reflect, you allow yourself to think about, you know, let's say you take 5 bad habits and you think thoroughly about those habits, and then you start tracing it back. That's where you have to start making decisions. Habits is all about making decisions. I make a decision daily until it becomes a lifestyle. You know, the reason why people can stay so healthy and stay so fit is because they make a constant decision, and a decision is mostly something that you sacrifice. You know, a decision to stay that certain way by doing certain things. But sometimes there's also a very bad habit that can look like a good habit, right? Some people may be excessive in certain ways that they have. And so it makes them think that it's a good habit, but actually it's a bad habit. An example is dieting. You have to know how to diet, not in function of other people's diet, but in function of your own body, your hormones, your metabolism, and all those things. But if you just look up to someone and you take their extreme, I'm talking about extremes, you take their extreme diet and you think you're doing yourself a favor, you're actually not. Because over time, maybe short term is gonna look good, but over time, you're you might be sick. Yeah, or it might look unhealthy. And so that's what I mean by extreme habits. Um, and I've tend to realize that the less people there around me, the more I can be exposed to all my habits, because I have, yeah, more time to myself, and also more time to think, to reflect, to talk over with those trusted people that are around me then, which is very few now, and then also to God. And for me, my number one source is God, and it will always be God. No matter what I'm saying, no matter what I'm going through, no matter where I am, I'll always trace it back to God, because I believe that when you ask God, Lord, change my character, Lord, work on my character, Lord, help me love people more, He will show you. He will show you the areas where you lack, in order for Him to fill it in in a healthy way, in a good way, in a holy way, in a godly way. And so, in a gracious way, also, you have to give yourself a lot of grace. Um, in the process of habits, good, bad, and also, and all that, good, bad, ugly, you have to allow yourself to give yourself grace. Because I'm someone, I know for myself, like that a bad habit that I have is I tend, okay, let me use my words right, because I'm not the same anymore, but I tend to pressure myself a lot, to apply a lot of pressure, to be so hard on myself, so harsh on myself. But I wouldn't be like that, or I wouldn't behave like that. I won't say that to other people, right? And that's not necessarily a good thing, but that's something that I've known for a long time. And I telling God, I'm like, Lord, show me. Or certain times, sometimes some things are not working just because I'm being hard on myself, and I don't allow myself to have a peace of mind first and then the work. It's like, oh, I want to work so that I have the peace of mind. But God wants me to have the peace of mind first, in order for the work to be worthy of His name, for the work to be excellent. And so that's even something right now I'm working on. Like, Lord, I want to do this, I want to do that. And He's like, you first have to have the peace that I got it, that I got you, that you can trust me, that it will work out, that this is my plan for you. And then I will show you how to do the work. He can give me the instructions and then give me the piece and be like, choose. Choose which one you want to go for. I don't want to do the work without peace of mind, a peace that comes only from God. So yeah, may this be an encouragement to someone. I hope that this video helps in some way to know that you're not alone, and to know how to reflect on your habits, to know that it's not because you change your environment that everything around you changes. Your habits needs to change too. And don't wait on your environment to change in order to change your habits. Start now. Do the work now. That sounded so inspirational. But yeah, start now, do the work now, so that wherever God will lead you, you will already come full package and already done because of your habits that are going to be. And I'm not saying that we're perfect and all habits are bad, all habits are good, and all that. I'm just saying that there are certain things in life that you will only have access to because of the wisdom that you've gained from the bad habits. Ooh. And so allowing yourself to look at your bad habits, to identify the roots, to do the healing, to work on it, to do all of those things in order to turn it into a good habit, all of that is really good and all of that is great. But don't forget the lesson behind it. Don't forget what you've been taught. Don't forget what you've gained from it, because it will help someone else. It will. It will help someone else. And you're not supposed to go out there and, like help the whole world. But if you can just help your neighbor with that one bad habit, if you can just help someone that's younger than you to acquire that wisdom that you've gained from that one bad habit, then who knows, you might change your destiny. Who knows, you might change your life. So that's where I'm going to leave it for you today. And if you like this message, if this message has helped you, then please make sure to support it the right way by commenting, liking, subscribing, but also sharing it to loved ones, sharing it to people that might benefit from this, that might need to hear this today, that they're doing it well, they're doing okay, but taking action towards bad habits and turn them to good habits is something that they will always benefit from. And I'll see you on the next video. Bye.